All the crazy chops and technical stuff's a lot of fun to play. But holding down a groove that makes people want to dance is fun too. So what about a groove exactly makes people want to dance? Tempo, feel, and consistency are three big things to keep in mind here. If a groove is too slow or too fast, people might have a hard time figuring out how to move their meat bag. The feel, whether it's straight or swung, will help determine sub-movements in a dance, like bouncing your shoulders or wiggling your hips or doing some fancier footwork. And of course, consistency. It's really hard to dance to something that doesn't have a steady pulse. Unless, of course, we're talking like free-form interpretive dance. So I'm going to break down a few grooves that I think keep these three elements in mind, even though they all kind of lend themselves to different dancing styles. The first groove is based around a basic dance beat, so we're going to have 4 to the floor on the kick, and we're going to accent the and of each beat on the hi-hats. I embellish the backbeats a little bit with some ghost notes, and there's an extra accent in there to break things up a little bit. Having some different dynamic layers really aids in the dancey feel of grooves. Kind of makes things feel all wiggly and gelatinous. So that first groove sounds like this. Here's that same groove again, but played slowly. Getting all those dynamic elements in check takes a good bit of practice, so start out as slowly as you need to in order to play it accurately. This next groove is based around using both hands on the hi-hats. We're going to keep that disco vibe going with the 4 to the floor on the kick, but instead of just hitting the snare right on 2 and 4, I'm going to bump that second backbeat ahead by a 16th note so it ends up on the last 16th of beat 3. And then I'm going to hit the floor tom on the and of beat 4. And to add some flavor and break up the feel a bit, I'll have a couple of syncopated accents on the hi-hats. Altogether, the second groove sounds like this. And here it is again, but played slowly. Next, we're going to borrow some elements from a jazz samba feel. So samba is a traditional form of Brazilian music, and there are kind of lots of different styles of samba depending where in Brazil the music originates. But when we merge some of these samba concepts with some jazz concepts, we get some really groovy grooves. And drumming and dance is a huge part of Brazilian culture, so they know how to groove. Check out some Brazilian drummers, some of them are mind-blowing. But anyway, we'll get the kick playing on the first and last 16th note of every beat. I'll close the hi-hats with my foot on the and of each beat. My right hand on the ride cymbal is going to play this 3/16th rhythm, like 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. And I'm going to keep some kind of backbeat going on the snare drum, and there will be a few extra ghost notes and an extra accent in there too, just to kind of get those dynamic layers involved. Altogether, it sounds like this. And here's that groove again, slowed down. This next groove is basically a Songo groove, but with a little bit of extra sauce. So Songo is a Cuban style of music. It is extremely groovy, very danceable, and there are also a ton of incredible Cuban drummers, and they know how to groove so freaking hard, so their music is really good to study. But yeah, we got some accents on the snare, we got some ghost notes on the snare. I'm not going to talk through all the specific elements of a Songo. If you're unfamiliar with the Songo, I would strongly recommend just checking out another tutorial and then getting back to this one. But the big thing to watch for here is the bass drum rhythm. Bass drum does not play on beat 1 anymore, so we're abandoning the 4 to the floor type thing. Instead, the bass drum plays a rhythm known as a tumbao, which is like 1, a 2, and 3, a 4, and 1, a 2, and 3, a 4, and. Or if we were thinking like cut time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to play this as a 2-measure groove. The first measure is going to be just a straight ahead Songo pattern, and then the second measure, my right hand, is going to switch from just playing quarter notes on the bell to the first 2/16ths of each beat, like 1E, 2E, 3E, 4E. Then my left foot on the hi-hat pedal is going to close on the and of 1 and 3, and then I'm going to splash the hi-hats on the and of 2 and 4. Altogether, we'll get something that sounds like this. And here it is again, but slowed down. Alright, I got one more groove here. This one has more of a halftime feel to it and is definitely reminiscent of some styles of electronic music. The kick and snare pattern is super basic. I'll play the kick only on beat 1 in the first measure and then beats 1 and 2 in the second measure, and I'll hit the snare only on beat 3 in each measure. But the feel is really driven more by the hi-hats here. So the hi-hats are playing this swung, bouncy, skippy rhythm with some accents and dynamic shape to it, but it's a very tight swing, and that tight swing provides some contrast against the straight ahead kick and snare pattern. And altogether it sounds like this. And slowly. So those are some beats that should get people moving around in some capacity. I hope. Add some different embellishments or change things up however you please in order to personalize these beats. If you like what you saw in this video, check out my Patreon page. Your support grants you access to transcriptions for this video, as well as transcriptions for all my other lesson videos, and follow me on Instagram at drummerhar to see more videos of my playing. As always, thanks for watching and see you next time.